Welcome to Hungary, where practice is just about to take place at the Hungaro Ring. This track is extremely narrow, making it one of the tougher circuits to navigate, so practice sessions like today's are pretty much essential. Anthony Davidson, how much time will the teams be using to make changes to the car here?
Well, you have basic checks first of all. You know, is the car working correctly? What are the track conditions like? And you'll be chasing that as the session goes on. Things like that. Then you start getting into the nitty-gritty of it all, and they become more like test sessions where it's all about gathering new data, testing components, tweaking the setup, and so on. So there's only so much actual practice that these drivers need. Most of them will be plenty familiar enough with the track layout, either from previous experience or from the simulator.
What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming, back with the next episode of my F1 29 career mode. I believe this is episode number 31, and today we are here at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and this is one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I like to drive the circuit a lot. I love the flow of the track. The middle sector is unbelievable. Turn 4 and 11 is really nice. So one of my favourites, although racing around here is very difficult because it's a very hard track to overtake on. As now we'll jump into qualifying, and there's going to be some weather for this qualifying session.
We're expecting the rain to hit us any time now. Prix seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So the weather is going to come for this qualifying session. So this is our first lap in Q1 on the soft tyre, and we've gone very deep into turn 1 here. So not a great start to the lap, and this is a very important lap. As you can see, the rain has started to fall, so this lap is very, very critical for our chances to get into Q2. We are one of the first cars out on track, so that should only help us as we now come into turn 4, into 6th gear, almost flat, little lift in the throttle. Now through 5, long corner, gotta be patient on the throttle. Now into the chicane, got to fly over the curves, locked at the front right, missed the first apex, it's going to cost us more time. And now 4th gear for the left and right hander. And now up to 6th gear for this fast right, turn 11. Very wide on the exit there, so not a great run through there either. And now into turn 12, back to 3rd gear. And now into turn 13 and 14. 2 slow corners, going to be very patient around this corner on the throttle. And turn 14 a little bit better than 13, a bit faster, and you gotta get on the power as soon as you can for the exit, as on the most important exit of the lap. And a 1 minute 16 from us. Verstappen was a second quicker, so that was unfortunate. Not a very good lap, but it was fortunately good enough to get us through to Q2. So the rain has started. It's now intermediate conditions. Only one run from everybody in Q1. We did just enough to get through to Q2. Our teammate Giovinazzi is out in Q1. So here's our first run in Q2 on intermediate tyres. Very tricky conditions, these ones, as Pierre Gasly sets the first lap in the 1 minute 28, and we come across for a 1 minute 29.5. And now on our same set of tyres, same run, second lap, and we come through the final corner trying to get the best exit we can, really being greedy on the throttle, and we've spun the car there. So after our first run we were P15, so we really needed to find another 7-8 tenths for a chance to get into Q3 here, as the rain has now stopped. So we've got a drying track here in Q2, and Q3, if you get through, will be dry. As we come into turn 1, down the 2nd gear, I've got to be very careful on the throttle, losing the back end. Now into turn 2, back down to 3rd gear, got to be patient on the throttle again. Patience is key around this track. Now, got to be very, very careful. The back end's wanting to step out. Got to have good car control through there. And now into turn 4, not as quick in the wet as it is in the dry. Back end wanting to step out again. And now trying to get as smooth a exit as possible. Braking into the chicane, taking the curbs nicely this time. And into turn 9 and 10, actually turn 8 and 9. now preparing for the fast left-hander. You'll be careful through here not to lose the back end in these conditions at full throttle. And now the car just wanted to step out through the middle of that corner and into turn 12 with a brake a bit earlier than the dry. Got that turned in nicely. The rear's just absolutely lighting up on the exit as the track is drying out, and we're going to be patient on the throttle, and the car is fishtailing on the exit as we now come around the final corner. We're half a second up. We're going to improve, but can we get into Q3? Unfortunately not Q3 for us today, but 14th, so we weren't last. We did outqualify Lance Stroll there, so that's alright. And we'll go into the race now, and from 14th, it's going to be a difficult one from 14th on this track, but Jenson Button's won here from 14th on the grid before, so why can't we? So anyway, without further ado, let's hope for a good race and a better result than last time. Let's get into it.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaro ring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens? It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel and Leclerc, Norris, Weber, Perez and Daniel Ricciardo, Kvyat, Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, the captain, Stroll, Raikkonen, Devon Butler and Alexander Albon. Giovinazzi and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
Welcome everybody to the Hungarian Grand Prix, and hopefully today we can score some good points, have a better result than last time out in Germany. So Pierre Gasly on pole with Hamilton second, Verstappen third and Bottas fourth, with then the two Ferraris lining up on the third row. Should make for a very interesting race. A little bit mixed up grid with Weber a bit out of position and Raikkonen also out of position in the Alfa Romeo, which we know have a very quick car. So we'll see how that all shapes out over the course of the race. So I've decided to start on the hard tyre as opposed to the medium tyre, just to get the pain out of the way first, like we were going to do in Germany, and then hopefully storm home in the second half of this Grand Prix. Also, I'm the only car starting on the hard tyre, so hopefully that gives us some sort of advantage.
Our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Obviously our win probably is out of reach, even a podium, especially around this track, so the goal is to just get into the points. I'd say a top 7-6 performance would be really good from us. But anyway, let's get ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So here we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. The revs rise as we get ready to go, and let's go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Bad start from us on that hard tyre. Everybody else on the mediums, and look at that. Raikkonen storms past. Stroll's gotten past as well, as we now go late on the brakes into turn 1. We have Hulkenberg on our outside. They squeezed us up onto the curb. Now Raikkonen's got back past us down into turn 2, and he's got a much better exit. We look down the inside, but Kimi closes the door shut. And now through turn 3 and 4, they're a bit slow. We're going to have a run here, are we? But no way through, so we're going to have to stick behind Raikkonen through turn 4 and 5, as now the pack is going very slowly up ahead. We're looking for any way through as we come now into the chicane for the first time. We almost run into the back of Raikkonen and take avoiding action to the inside. Now we're going side by side through the chicane. Now Kimi's got the position for the outside, and we try to drive around the outside. We do now. We have the inside for turn 9, and we get it done through turn 9, so we move up to 13th place there. So not bad opening lap. So up one spot, which is always good. And now the goal is to just try and hang with these guys, hang in the DRS, not let them get away. We're going to struggle on these harder tyres. Raikkonen is much quicker behind us. So we'll just see how we go and see if we can settle into a little bit of a rhythm, which is can be tricky sometimes. So we're now going to move on to lap number 3 here, and we are not really falling back. We haven't gained any time on the cars ahead, which is Hulkenberg, as now there's a yellow flag up ahead here at the last corner, and there's a car going slowly. It's a red one. It's a Ferrari. It's Charles Leclerc. He's out of this Hungarian Grand Prix. Once again, disappointment for Charles Leclerc. The defending world champion just hasn't had any luck this year. As we now move to lap 10, and Hulkenberg has started losing touch to the guys ahead, and we are slowly getting into his DRS range here. So what can we do about Nico Hulkenberg? Can we have an attack here on the start of lap 11? We've still got Kimi Räikkönen all over our rear, just absolutely hounding us. But here we go now with the DRS on Nico Hulkenberg. We're not very close. We're going to have a little look, are we? He's going to defend to the inside. We're not close enough. We had a little look. We showed the nose of the car. We got really antsy on the traction though out of turn 1. One of the most difficult traction zones on the entire Formula 1 calendar, in my opinion. But yeah, we're just going to starting to put Hulkenberg under a little bit of pressure now. And here we come onto the very next lap. What can we do this time? Can we get a better run here? As now we put it into overtake mode. We got the DRS. We're closing all the time, but we're not close enough, unfortunately. We're going to have a dive. We're going to have a look. We're going to put the nose there. And Hulkenberg tries to squeeze us. We muscle our way through. Very forceful. A good move in the end to get past, as he was holding us up. And now we need to catch Danny Kvyat ahead as much as we can before we pit, or before they pit. They're going to come in around lap 17. We're pitting lap 18. It's very much split strategy. You don't really want to run on these hard tyres if you can. So here we go. Devon Butler is now out of the Grand Prix, which is very disappointing for Devon. Not sure what happened to him. That's unfortunate for his race, and he will not be scoring points today. As you can see, some cars pit. There's Gasly coming out of the pit lane, but Kimi Räikkönen's attacking us. He's gotten past Hulkenberg now. He's having a look at us. We managed to hold on around here. This is lap 18. This is the lap we are going to come in for our pit stop. So here we come in now to the end of the lap. We're going to chuck on the medium tyres and go to the end. We're going to be a lot quicker. We've done a very good job in the first stint. We maybe didn't make the progress we would have liked, but we did enough. We did just enough. We just had to hang with the guys. That's all we could really do. And now we're going to have the tyre advantage in the second half of the race. So we got to really focus now, and hopefully we can move our way into the points as we come in for the medium tyre. And it's going to be close on exit with Raikkonen here, and we come out and we're pretty much side by side in each other. And now we do get ahead of Kimi Räikkönen, so we'd like to see that fixed for the game. Maybe a little bit of side by side action in the pit lane would be cool, but I guess they can't do that. As we now move on, we are getting away from Raikkonen. We're closing up Danny Kvyat, who is in 10th place, so this is a chance for points here. We got the DRS now here on lap 21. We're setting a purple last sector. We have got the speed now on these fresh mediums over the field, and we have to utilise our advantage in this half of the Grand Prix. And Kvyat, we're not close enough to make a move with the DRS in the turn 2, the most useless DRS zone. I must say, just there's no chance of getting an overtake into that corner. But now we are just once again not close enough to Kvyat. We're going to really fire the car in to the left-hander. Now through turn 5, he's much slower. We've got more grip. We're going to get a good exit, but we're not close enough. But Kvyat locks off. It gives us an opportunity to get past, but no way through there. Kvyat covers it off just. So Kvyat's under pressure. He's making mistakes, and that's helping us. It's probably hurting us, actually, our progress of other cars ahead. So let's see if we can get through now on Danny Kvyat on the main straight. That's what we have to do, because Raikkonen is closing in behind. But we also can score more points with Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez all ahead. That's probably who we're trying to beat today, Sergio Perez. And then the game I don't know what happened here. It just went into the replay. I didn't press the button. I don't know. So thanks, game, for that. And that throws me off completely, and now we have no chance of getting past on that lap. But anyway, next lap, and we are so much quicker than Kvyat with this medium tyre, and even though in the dirtier, he's pulled away a little bit off the exit as you would expect, but now with the DRS we are just right tucked up behind his rear wing. We're going to look to the inside of the turn one, we're going to brake much later than him, and we'll get the move done. So good job there to get into 10th place. We're now in the points, and now we're chasing down 9th placed Daniel Ricciardo, but Jeff has a message. So Lando Norris has an issue with his car, and you can see he's starting to come towards us, but I need to get past the fellow Australian Daniel Ricciardo. He goes to the inside, we're going to look to the outside. He locks up heavily on the front right tyre, and it's only a matter of time when we pass Daniel Ricciardo. Is now coming into the last corner. We're going to have so much more corner grip and mid-corner speed than he does, as we now try to get the best exit in the dirty 8. It just throws just a little bit wide, but now with the DRS we're closing all the time on Daniel Ricciardo. He defends to the middle of the track. We go down the inside, and a good move there with the DRS into turn 1. Probably Ricciardo's got a really good exit there. He's got a really good run. We cover it off, very aggressive from Ricciardo, and we cover it off very aggressively, almost making contact there, and we just hold on. We run very wide through turn 2, but we managed to hold on through 3, and now on the run to 4, Ricciardo's not close enough to have a look up the inside. We can see how much time Lando Norris is losing with this engine issue, I guess. He's so slow through turn 5. And now we're just going to have to wait here in the middle sector, but we hit the back of him here, and we break the front wing. So I broke where I break every single lap. I don't know why he broke so early, but we unfortunately here on lap 26 have to come in for a new front wing. Really frustrating. Our chance of scoring any points is gone, and yeah, that's really annoying with the AOI. I broke where I would brake behind another AOI car, and I don't know why he's going so slow. I know he has a problem, but he doesn't have a problem under brakes. It's just so silly with this game. It really frustrates me. As we now have 8 laps to go, we're now last, and we're going to absolutely push like hell to get back into the points. Here's our first lap. We're going purple in the middle sector already as we go around the outside of Grosjean. He squeezes us off the track, and now we're going to have to just wait until the main straight. He's just so slow. The Renault and hard tyre combination is not very good. And look at this, we are pretty much pushing him through this corner. And finally, we can make the move here on Romain Grosjean into turn 1. And we down the inside, and now we have a bit of a gap to his teammate Albon. At the end of that lap, though, we do set the fastest lap of the race, so which we already had. So yeah, no points from that though because we're not in the top 10. But now lap 31, we've caught Albon. We're a little bit far back here, but I go for it anyway. Absolutely sent that one down the inside. Albon doesn't have an answer on the exit of the corner, so we take P16 from Alex Albon. And now we're closing up here to our teammate Giovinazzi here on lap 33 of this Hungarian Grand Prix. And we could possibly beat Lance Stroll if we get past our teammate quickly here. We've got DRS here on the run to turn 2. But like I said, there's just no chance of closing up enough to make a move into turn 2. So now can we get anything through turn 4? This is where they probably should put a DRS zone because there'd be more moves down to this corner. But no way through there, and Giovinazzi holds on for now. And you can see just losing the back end a little bit there, and just got to be patient here, and we know we're quicker than our teammate, and you wish that Toro would just let us through knowing we're quicker because we can have a go at Stroll, but the team orders are not an option here, so we're so much quicker through turn 11. And he's going to defend to the inside, so we're going to go to the outside. We're going to brake much later than him. We're out around the outside, he hits us, and doesn't leave us space, and now I get a bit annoyed here, and I dive back up the inside very aggressively in a bid to try and get ahead, and we damage the front wing once again. So, yeah, very frustrating. And now we have no chance. We make more contact here on the main straight. Unfortunately, Jeff's talking over me. But that was our race. We're going to finish in 16th place. So once again, another disappointing Grand Prix here today.
Not good enough at all. Let's push harder next time, okay?
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. So, let's review the driver's standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
For me, it's Kimi Räikkönen, someone who definitely doesn't get enough attention for how well he performs out on the track.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So that was your Hungarian Grand Prix today, guys. Max Verstappen wins again. He is on an absolute mission. Pierre Gasly finishes second. So that's really interesting with how that all plays out. And you can see in the championship, Verstappen has a 10-point lead over his teammate. Hamilton 14 points behind. Yeah, Vettel's making move. Ferrari still second in the Constructors' Championship. But for us, we're still on 45 points. A couple of bad races in a row after two really good races in a row. So hopefully we can improve for the next time out at the Belgian Grand Prix. Here we are now getting a contract negotiation. And I believe this went pretty well. We got to get level 3 on everything except for the pit stops, which isn't really a big deal. We put it on none because I'd rather have the other 3, and we do get that, so that's good news for us, and hopefully we can just keep developing the car. We're going to fix this engine development part, which will help us for the next race in Belgium, and hopefully it also helps us in Monza with the power, and then we'll also go for a chassis upgrade on the brakes. So yeah, to recap, just another disappointing day at the office. Was really unfortunate. Just yeah, one little mistake into that chicane with Norris in front, and that ruins out any chance at points. Really, we should have scored points here in Hungary, but never mind. We'll go to the next race in Belgium. We'll see what we can do, and hopefully we can just find a way to get back on track into better form. And with the car we have, it's the third best car on the grid. We should have no excuses next time out in Belgium. We should get our head together in qualifying. We need to really have a really good performance in qualifying. Stop getting knocked out in Q2, Q3. We need to get into Q1 before. We need to get into Q3, stop getting knocked out in Q2, and turn our fortune around. But anyway, that's been today's video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.